You're watching Bully Badass TV, YouTube's best channel for dog lovers.
I'm Jennifer Fuller, and I own Fuller Boerboels in Mariposa.
And I'm Kim Bazaar, and I have Gallant Boerboels, and I'm out of Atwater, California.
So Kim and I met through the Boerboels, realized that we were pretty close together, and since that time, since we met, we've worked a lot together in finding the right Boerboels to complement our breeding programs. My husband and I owned a Mastiff mix. He lived to be 16 years old. When we moved up here from the city, we realized what an incredible dog he was. He protected us. He would go with the kids on hikes out on this property. And when he got to the age of getting close to passing away, we started researching Mastiff breeds that met his temperament. Not by looks or anything like that, but purely by temperament. And the Boerboel best described that. About 2 years after we started researching the breed, we brought home our first one. We moved here 20 years ago, and with our other dogs that we had prior to the Boerboels, we would have, bears getting into the trash can all the time and things such as that. There would be a lot of evidence of mountain lions taking down deer close by the house. And once we got the Boerboels, we saw that diminish greatly. The Boerboels have an incredible sense of smell. We can be in the house and they can all of a sudden throw their nose up in the air and know that there's a large animal outside, which is kind of neat. It made me feel, I was a city girl. I didn't grow up in the mountains, so coming up here was a little scary for me, and that really helped me to feel safe. I love that I can take, one or two dogs and we can go outside of the fence and go on a hike right here. Good exercise for them. They have 3 yards that they can just stretch their legs in and run and wrestle. They are big wrestlers. They love to do that, and we just let them. So right now my pack consists of 6 dogs total. I have 2 males and 4 females. This is Zuri. Zuri? He's my alpha male. He's the oldest. He is 6 years old. He's a strong male. He does not like everybody he meets. He can be very protective, and so we are cautious with him with people. We typically like to introduce through the fence, over the fence, not just have somebody walk in. And then this is Johari. She's my alpha female, and she's almost 6 years old, and this is going to be her last litter. She produces some beautiful puppies, and you'll meet one of them a little bit later, my male Boo. And we also have her granddaughter here on campus. So I'm not going to make her do too much today because she's due to have puppies next week and I don't want her working too hard. The great thing about Zuri is that conformationally, he's really nice. His head could be a little more square, but because he is so thick, he doesn't move nearly as well as his son, who has a much more athletic build. So but conformation-wise, he has great conformation. He scores well. He's got decent, he could be better in rear angulation, which is pretty typical for Boerboels. We lack rear angulation. But other than that, he's a solid dog. So this male is a son of my older male, and they played together, they did everything together until this guy started mating. And then he got a little cocky. Got a little bit of an attitude. And although there was never any incident or fight, I could just tell that their relationship had changed. So I don't allow them to have direct contact. They can be separated by a baby gate and they're fine. Fence to fence, they're fine. They can be nose to nose through a fence, they're fine. It's just I'm overcautious and don't want to take that chance. I have had male Boerboel fights before where we've had an older male come in as an older male and break through the fence to get to my male, and male Boerboel fights are horrible. They're a mess. Even with the females, sometimes even though they all can be hanging out in the living room together, there are certain times when we do separate them and shuffle them because heat cycles, they get moody. Pregnancies, they can get moody, and so there's just different times. said, my dogs do live in the home, so typically if I have everybody in the house, one male would be behind a baby gate in a bedroom, and the other male would be out, and then I just switch them out so they each get pack time. We have Boo. He is almost 29 inches at the shoulder, and he's between 145 and 150. He is a therapy certified dog. He loves therapy visits, but he's also incredibly intense. So anything that Boo does, he does pretty intensely. Stay. Stand. You see his build is far more athletic than his dad. He can move much better and quicker. His negatives are his angulation, of course. If I could change anything about him, I'd give him more rear angulation. But other than that, his front, Boo, come here. His head is really nice. He's got a beautiful front. He's got a straight front. A lot of times what we're seeing is the easty-westy feet, and you don't want to see that. It's really bad. It's poor. So nice straight front. He's wanting to. This one has a pretty high prey drive. And, well, actually all three of these have pretty high prey play drive. Boo is an offspring from Zuri and Johari. This is Subi or Sabira. I brought her in from Michigan. Subi is 4 years old, going on 5, and she would be the one that I would call the most feisty. She has the most gumption. She's the one most likely to take off your hand if you reach over the fence. She's small. She is only 23 and a half inches at the shoulder, and she runs about 110, 115. We love her. She's, like I said, most protective, most intense. She's just a really great dog. Subi. Kai, come. Hey. And this is their daughter, Kai. So Kai is my 3rd generation. Conformationally, she hasn't been scored yet. She's 4 months old. She'll be scored this spring. But conformationally, she's pretty darn correct. She's a pretty nice dog. Nice straight front. When she stands right, she's got decent angulation. It's not perfect, but it's decent, it's good. She's got a nice head. She's a nice female. The baby of the pack is Amma, and she was just imported from South Africa along with her sister Cosmo, who Kim owns. And they are 5 months now. They're a little different than what we're used to. They're incredibly high energy.
The reason we imported the dogs from South Africa was to improve on the rear angulation, also to improve on the lines. We needed to broaden our lines of the lineage of the Boerboels.
You can get a lot of varying thoughts on where the breed really originated. Basically, it came over on the Great Trek to South Africa. The dogs, the Mastiffs that they brought with them, the hunting dogs, mated with the South African native dogs, and somehow along the way the breed began. 1950 is when they really started focusing on, I have the name written down, Diego started focusing on breeding them. After that, it wasn't until 1983 when they decided to gather a select number of these dogs, name them, make them a breed, and breed them specifically for their job as farm protectors.
I would say they're the best Mastiff for farm protection and guardians if you have livestock or you have property that you need to protect. But for just the average dog owner, they're not the best Mastiff. They are a lot of work, a lot of socialization, a lot of training. They are a lot of work.
I would say that there's many different aspects to the Boerboel community. When you say community, I think of one big community that's bound together by one set of goals, and I don't think that's true in the Boerboel breed. I think that there's many sub-communities within the Boerboel breed.
Okay.
So, there's some who really only believe they should be farm dogs, purely farm dogs. There's others that are doing different things, competing, sports, dog sports. Several of mine are therapy dogs. They could do therapy visits. So there's just a huge variety. My objective with the breed is to is to continue. I don't want to water them down so much that they're not what they should be. I mean, they have to maintain that protective instinct. There are a few that don't, you know, and there's a few that are overboard. So, and they're working dogs. They should be able to work if you ask them to work. That work could be multiple things. It could be dock jumping, it could be, farming, it could be moving firewood, it could be pulling a sled, it could be the guardian protection, it could be going on a therapy visit and visiting people could be their work. So they are a working dog, and if you don't keep them working doing something, they tend to get bored and destructive. Like I said, I have a couple that are therapy dogs. I have a couple that could not be therapy dogs. So I want to keep their working ability. I want to keep them lean and athletic. They need to be able to move and do their job. They can't protect if they can't get up off the couch. If you think about what the original purpose of the breed was, it is to be on the farm and protect the livestock. And they would do that in packs. You wouldn't have a single Boerboel out there protecting against, a hyena or lion. They would do that in packs. So therefore the Boerboels had to be able to think on their own and do the job without being directed. But in the home environment, in the pet environment, you don't really want them to be free thinkers. You don't want them taking over, because they will. They are dominant. They will try to direct your home to get what they want and to rule the roost. And oftentimes their dominance is overlooked because they can be very well behaved. So you don't really notice that. It's really important to have a bond with your breeders to help you understand when those situations come and when they hit. And it can, suddenly a 10-month-old male can start showing severe dominance because the boundaries have not been set from day one. The dog hasn't been made to follow guidelines and rules, and because they're so cute and adorable as puppies, they've kind of pushed their way into the leadership role of the family and the household. Some of the signs of your dog ruling the roost, it can start very subtly. In the beginning, by pushing through a door in front of you, not obeying on the first command, refusing to eat in certain places, refusing certain foods so that you feel bad for the puppy and you give it what it wants. And it can escalate all the way up to your own dog growling at you, barking, biting, showing dominance with visitors, and that type of thing.
Both of us feed our Boerboels strictly raw. It's a prey model raw. We have found that the dogs are much healthier. We have less incidence of any kind of health problems. It seems to be about the same cost when you look at it health-wise as a good quality kibble. We just like the raw. It's a little bit of work, but it seems to be worth it in the long run. I'm Kim with Gallant Boerboels, Atwater, California. Thanks for watching the video. Hopefully you learned something about Boerboels. If you have any other questions, feel free to visit our website. Mine is agallantboerboel.com. And hopefully you learned something about this great breed. If you have any questions, contact one of us.
And I'm Jennifer. Thank you so much for watching. What I hope you took away from this is that Boerboel's not for everybody, but if you do think that a Boerboel will be right for you, we encourage you to seek a breeder that's going to work with you, that's going to be with you in the long haul, that's going to stick by your side and be there through the life of the Boerboel to help you and assist you with your questions and answers. We are fullerboerboels.com. And we're in Mariposa, California, and I love answering questions about the dogs. Anytime you want to give a call, we're available.